naravno da će ona u svom predstavljanju još to i da nam kažu ukratko. Ono što želim da kažem, da ne zaboravim, jeste da nas, da ono što Francien Lamers je naša počasna članica i članica Savjetodavnog odbora Evropske mreže protiv seksualnog nasilja i to nam je veliko zadovoljstvo što je ovde sa nama. Htela bih samo iz jednog ličnog ugla da kažem nešto o moje vezano za Francien, kolegnicu ne poznajem, ali sa Dušicom koja je zapravo sve vreme i kontaktirala sa Francien i sa Merijn, i velika zahvalnost Dušici na svemu što je uradila za današnje predavanje. Pa smo nas prebirali i došli do toga da mi zapravo poznajemo i sarađivale smo i učile od Francien, evo 29. godina, i to je kad se kaže stvarno su to toliko godina prošlo, i 94. je bila prva godina kad smo Dušica i ja bile na jednom studijskom putovanju gde sam ja i upoznala Francien i videla kako radi, i ono što lično, to je samo onaj lični moj deo, mi je bilo to na koji način to radi strpljivo, strasno, i pritom posebno kad prenosi to znanje, to je kad radi sa decom. A ono što je meni bilo jako važno, da sam videla tu neprikosnovenost i beskompromisnost kada govori o deci koja su pod traumom i pogotovo koja trpe seksualno nasilje. I dugi niz godina su me, na neki način su se šalile sa mnom i uvek su govorile, Ljilja želi kad bude još malo porasla da bude kao Francien. To je nešto što smo se mi uvek smejale u centru, ali to je ono moje sećanje prvi put, a i posle druge sve godine gde smo sarađivale sa Francien. Takođe bih htela da samo kažem da to moram da pročitam i to mi je uvek onako vrlo interesantno i ponosna sam da danas su sa nama ljudi, osobe iz Velike Britanije, Holandije, Britanskih ostrva, Norveške, Slovenije, Hrvatske i Srbije. Znači danas smo se okupili iz tih zemalja i u priličnom broju koji su svi zainteresovani da čuju šta Francien i Merijn danas hoće da nam kažu. Evo, to bi bilo to od mene i evo ja sad dajem reč jednoj i drugoj i možemo da počnemo.
Okay, then I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to look for them for the presentation. What a kind introduction of in all the work Francien has done for your cooperation. And I'm just joining in, so the floor is all hers after a while, because she can tell you about what kind of work she did in your region. Or in the region of the Balkan. Now, there are also a lot of people from other places, I heard. One moment, I have to find one thing. No, this is it. No, this is it not. Sorry.
Samo da ne zaboravim, izvini Merijn. Samo sam htela da kažem da smo još pre mnogo godina imale knjigice koje su bile, Dušica ih je prevela bila sa holandskog, tako da smo vredno učile odatle i radile sa decom. Evo, izvinite, molim vas. Evo, to sam htela da kažem.
Merijn, did it help?
Yeah.
Okay, it just
yeah, and that's
on the three dots.
Yeah, I got it. Christina, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and that's you worked with it, and I worked with it too. In 2005, I came to the center of which Francien founded, and I worked a lot with the method you have. Also, the books I could see the books there. And now today we're going to talk about the updated version of the books because they were written in 2000. That's some time ago, and there are a lot of new insights in the trauma world, in the whole world. So we rewrote it. I had that plan, and Francine said, yes, I'm going to just do it. I'm going to help you. And we did it together also with another colleague. And today we're going to talk about that to you. This is our content of the day. We're going to talk a little bit about ourselves, very short. For example, I saw in Francine's notes that she started her work, her quest of trying to get sexual abuse known as a serious problem in the world, in Holland as well, in 1978, and that's the year I was born. On the 20th of November, that's the day of the rights of the child. I think that I take that as a compliment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny, yeah? But it's still oh, I can hear something. I don't know what it is, but I just go on. If people can't understand, then please tell us. So that's us. I was born in 1978. You started. Did you start, or did you start before, Francine?
I started before.
Yeah, I think so too. But you said somewhere 1978.
Well, 1978 was the year I started.
Da sam počela da razvijam, da izrađujem modele za lečenje i terapiju male dece koja su bila seksualno zlostavljana, a 69. godine pre toga
Girls, 12, 13, 14, etc., also sexually abused. And that was in time that when I went to the director of the institute in which these girls were living and told them that they were sexually abused, he told me, Francine, don't bother about those girls.
Francine, nemojte da se bavite ovim devojčicama, zato što su one zavodile svoje očeve. I to je bilo za mene, to je bio početak. Ja sam tada se strašno razbesnela i pomislila sam, pa moramo nešto da uradimo po tom pitanju. I tako da, eto, to su počeci. I tako da, Merijn.
Well, yes, a lot of other young women and also guys started working in the field, and I'm very happy but what is happening in the Netherlands, and especially very happy to say that this year or the beginning of the next year, the new book, the new Horizon, will be ready to be, you can buy it, and it's a very nice, again, a very nice project, and please have a look at it.
But it's in Dutch, so that might be a little bit of problem for you to work with, but maybe we'll fix something about that, but we're not sure yet. So this is where we're going to talk about today, and especially the last two. We're going to talk about the treatment. It's a group 3 treatment, but you can use a lot of aspects out of the protocol for individual process. And during the whole reading, you're all used to working with this with these people and with these problems. But still, I think it's very important that you also it's also an afternoon where I will invite you to think about what does it to me, this theme, this subject, because you take yourself with you, and you're the instrument of your work. We do have computers, and we have to use them a lot, but it's not the instrument of your work. And I think so it's really important, if you work with children, if you work with people who experience sexual abuse, then you really have to know yourself and know where your strengths and weaknesses are. So in the end, we'll talk about that a bit. And there are a few advices for you how to talk about this subject in your team.
Okay, then at the end also, but then we go in depth, but I want to say that the program is written in a way that before you are going to do the therapy, the group therapy with the children and with the parents, you talk with the therapist together and ask each other whether they are okay to do what they are going to do today. And that also at the end of the session, you always have 30 minutes in which the therapist from the children and the therapist from the parents come together and talk about what they felt and how they did. And it's something like giving yourself a big compliment. We have done it and we are okay and can go home without thinking about it the whole night.
Yeah, exactly. Developments through time, and a bit of a history lesson. Now, Francine was you were a gymnastics teacher,
well,
right? You
I-
started.
I started
Yeah.
as a gymnastic teacher.
Yeah, so the body, expressing in the body movement was very important for you when you discovered, when you came
Yeah.
to work in your center, and then you discovered children who had been through sexual abuse. So trauma, and later on, you saw the way the kids moved and that they were stiff and that they didn't like to be touched. And so trauma stress in the body is a real important thing in your work, and has been and is still in our center, and also in the protocol, very important. But through time, I think, and I already experienced it from 2005 onwards, first it was very individually, I think, the therapy. And in time, it's getting more about the attachment between the caregiver and the child. And nowadays, it's even broader. Yeah, that we do have a lot of contact with schools. We try to vergroten, to enlarge the system around the kids, the network. We have a lot of contact with police, and it's more, it's broader. It's getting broader than before, I think. And also the caregivers or the parents are getting a more important role in therapy. It's not just therapist-client, but more like, okay, you're 24/7 at home, so we have to invest a lot of our energy into getting the parents trauma sensitive, actually. And that's one movement, but there's also a very individual development that therapy has to be short, effective, and there are short, effective therapies like EMDR. I don't know, I think everybody knows it. It's eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. In Holland, it's very much scientifically researched, but that's I think it's a bit of an exception in the world. We're very fond of EMDR, but in the rest of the world, it seems to me that there's more TFCBT, trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. And our horizon is based on the TFCBT. But still, I think a lot of themes you can use out of the horizon to use next to, for example, EMDR. So this is what I just said. And I really do believe a lot in EMDR. I think it's very effective, but I also think you miss a lot. You miss the context. You miss the movement. You miss the emphasis on self-esteem and on contact with the parent. So that's why I suggested to Francine to start to rewrite the horizon. So that's what I wrote here. Okay. Well, the TFCBT, that's how you started, Francine?
Yeah.
It came from the United States, right? You went to
well, more or less. The strange thing is that when I started working with the little children, I first started doing that in a group because that group of children were all sexually abused by one guy. And so I had 5 or 6 children, 4, 5, 6 years old, who were sexually abused by a taxi driver. And I had to do something. And I had 2 streams. The one was that I knew from the older girls I had met years before that sexual abuse is, well, let's say, hurting your body. And on the other side, I had to work with more children, so I started a group. And as a gym teacher, I had to have some rules, what's important and how can you do it, and etc. And with what I learned, I tried to learn myself. I took with me to the United States, and I had I have been in the United States at the beginning of my my sexual abuse development. I was there for 4 weeks. I still don't remember what I did with my children then, but I think my husband.
I didn't hear that.
My husband was looking after them. I will ask them with Christmas what they have done then. But I went to the United States and I went to several places, and some of those places they were doing more or less the same as what I wanted to do or was already doing, and that was the beginning of TFCBT in the Netherlands, and so I learned about the principles of TFCBT. Now, well, you can see. But everything what I wanted for these children was in their program. So it's I'm a disciple from the TFCBT, and yes, I know there are nice things with EMDR, and I have done the basic course in EMDR, but it doesn't feel good for me because it's only that. And they forget that a child is a living being, and elder people also, but you are a living being, and children live by and through their body. And I think that's very important.
Yeah.
And so that's why I brought all the elements from psychomotor therapy in the therapy for the children. And I have now a lot of statements, but one of the important things, and don't forget that it's very important, that the body remembers. Whatever happens, if you don't do anything, the body will come back later on when you are developing your sexuality and having a friend or whatever, are having sex. So my idea was, if you forget the body, then it's not good.
Yeah.
So, and well, the nice thing is, if you, some of you probably are familiar with Freud. Freud already talked about it. You know, I think this is a wonderful statement. And I'm going to read it because I think it must come down into your body. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chattered with the fingertips, and betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. And that's what you can see. And if you look, you can see it, and you can do something about it, because learning a child to love their own body again is much, much easier than learning a 45-year-old lady or man to learn again to love their life. So take it as soon as possible into your therapy. And another one also, she's from the Freud movement, Melanie Klein. She was in London, and she had she was a psychiatrist, and she wrote playing at ball or with hoops, tobogganing, dancing, gymnastics, swimming. In fact, athletic games of every sort turned out to have a libidinal catharsis.
Catharsis, hey? I think.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I forget the R.
Yeah.
Catharsis, sorry. Okay, but that was the, well, no, that is okay. It's important to help a child to regain a sense of safety in their own body. And yeah, the goal, that's from Van der Kolk, who wrote a lot about the body. The goal of therapy for sexual abuse is to heal the child in body and mind. And I think that we have to keep into our body and our mind.
And then you yourself wrote
Okay.
also a lot. Right?
That is why.
Yeah.
Well, I've written a lot of articles, but this is what's the statement for me. Sexual abuse, but also physical abuse, is a direct threat to the integrity of the body and a violation of the physical territory. Children are reduced to objects and their body to articles when their bodies are used without their consent or under protest. Well, that is the basis of my work in all those years, and still is. And I'm feeling unhappy sometimes because I think, well, that child has been in therapy, has got EMDR, and it's okay now. But then she's 16 and she's having a friend and they want to cuddle and her body didn't heal. How about that? So I want to do research sometimes when I have time to look what the long-time effects of EMDR and TFCBT.
I think you can leave that to others.
Okay.
Yeah. I think-
Okay, well, and always remember, motion is emotion.
Okay. Then the practical, that was the theoretical part. Yeah. And now just a short thing about what probably you know all about it. Then I'm just going to go fast through it. How are you welcome a new client? Yeah, that's also in every center it's different. And I thought, what can I before we go to the treatment? There's a lot to think about before of when you when people enter your center. Who are you going to speak to first? Is that the doctor who sent the client to you? Is it the parents? Is it the child? You really have to think about that, because before you know, the people are with the whole family inside your waiting room and you don't have a choice anymore. And how do you start a conversation like this? What can you tell? How do you reveal the information you already have, or do you leave it to them? But what if they don't come? What if they don't tell you why they came? I think it's always a good idea to tell people what they know, what you know, because in most of the times it's they're going to talk about something that is hidden in the rest
nečemu
of
što je skriveno ostatak njihovog vremena. Neki ljudi prosto ne govore svima oko sebe o seksualnom zlostavljanju koje su doživjeli. Oni su šokirani, posramljeni, život im je pretumban, ne znaju kome mogu više i da veruju. Tako da postoji dosta te tajnovitosti kada ljudi govore i otkrivaju seksualno zlostavljanje, a vi ste sada neko ko već zna dosta o tome, tako da kada primate ljude, ne možete tako nastupiti ako ste recimo u gužvi na poslu, ali morate da razmislite kako se oni osjećaju. Oni su verovatno pod velikim stresom zato što treba da dođu pred vas i da budu otvoreni, da vam mnogo šta kažu. da budu
going to ask, and especially the kids, do I have to tell that woman everything that happens? I'm not going to do that, for example, or you don't know what they heard about what will happen when they are going to tell someone else about the abuse. So it's most of the time it's quite confusing for the client and the family who is coming to your center. Now, the second part, the family consider go to the police. We have I don't know how it's like in your country, but we have a lot of rules, and when we always talk, not always, but we always discuss it, or we ask the parents to take it very seriously if they want to go to the police. If they don't want to go to the police, then you can talk to the child. But if they do want to go to the police, then it's probably not a good idea to talk as a psychotherapist or a psychologist to the child, because then maybe in court they will say, yeah, they talk to a psychologist. It's not right to how say it's not geldig. It's not
It's not
valid anymore.
because
Yeah.
the therapist have told the child that.
Yeah, has suggested
that.
things. So it's quite seeking a kind of balance, what you can and cannot ask or do in the beginning of a
Therapy.
a therapy. And what are you going to do if with there's one of the parents, for example, with custody, is still inside or is in prison? Are you going to visit him or her? And when I was I just started now, I think a few years, and we had one of those cases, and the father was in prison for for what he did to his kids. There were 4 kids, 2 of them were abused. And I said, yes, I want to go. I've never been to prison. Yes, I want to go. So I was really excited. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And someone said, yeah, you should take a new colleague. That's nice also for the colleague to be in prison. So we just went together. And I thought it was a good conversation with that man. But I came out and I felt completely sick, because I knew the mother, I knew the kids quite well. It was not in the intake phase, but it was after a few months. And then I thought, oh, that was really stupid of me. I shouldn't have gone myself. I should have let someone else do this. And maybe in another case where I didn't know the parents of the mother and the kids that well, I could have gone, but not when you know them so well. And I saw it also the other way around with a colleague who was treating a perpetrator. And
koleginicu koja je lečila počinioca i ona je došla u naš centar da razgovara sa svom decom i majkom i on je želeo da se izvini celoj porodici, a njegov terapeutkinja se takođe loše osjećala zato što je ona uvek radila samo sa njim i ona je, pošto je znala, kad je videla tu porodicu i kako je njen klijent uticao na porodicu, za nju je to bio veliki šok. Tako da sve su to stvari koje treba da imate na umu pre nego što uđete u razgovor. Da, možete da budete šokirani, ali i sama porodica može da preživi sekundarnu traumatizaciju, odnosno da se tako da oni takođe mogu da vide šta se desilo toj deci, tako da mogu biti traumatizovani.
Dakle, ovo ćemo mi ponovo napisati, neko će dati crteže. Prva knjiga. U prvoj knjizi smo samo imali lice i napisali smo zajedno sa psihomotornim terapeutom. Ona je rekla ili ste vi rekli? Vi ste rekli treba da imamo crteže celog tela, ne samo lica. I naravno, rekli smo naravno. I pričali smo sa vlasnikom salona za tetovažu da nam napravi crteže deci. I ovo su rezultati. Nismo još videli. Videli smo samo prednju stranu. Dakle, Ostatak nismo još imali prilike da vidimo kako izgleda. Imamo sesije, paralelne sesije, sesije za roditelje, sesije za decu. I dolaze u centar i odlaze. To je samo za roditelje koji nisu počinioci. I deca, napisali smo knjigu za decu od 7 do 12 godina i verovatno ćemo imati nešto i za mlađu decu, ali o tome ćemo pričati kasnije. Sesije traju 90 minuta, 60 minuta sa decom, 60 minuta za roditelje, a onda roditelji dođu kod dece. Znači, 60 minuta odvojeno, a onda pola sata zajedno, i roditelji i deca. Imamo dečake i devojčice zajedno. I svih ovih godina smo utvrdili da devojčice i dečaci do 12 godina mogu da budu u istoj grupi kada se radi o seksualnom zlostavljanju. To nije problem. Imamo 6 do 7 dece u grupi i uvek 2 terapeuta po grupi. I moram da kažem da 6 do 7 dece u grupi je malo optimistički danas. Kada sam ušla u vaš centar, imali smo grupe svakog dana, svake nedelje zapravo, i to je zbog individualnog kretanja. Nekad je i manji broj. Krećemo od 3 do 4 dece, ali opet puno efekata i veoma sam srećna kada imamo grupu. Imamo različite uzraste i to nije važno. Imali smo prošle godine divnu grupu. Imali smo dete od 7 godina i dete sa 3.
We thought, oh, that's impossible. But you have also, you've always 2 therapists, and there was also one in between. You always have 2 therapists. So sometimes we thought, okay, now she's going to talk about boyfriends. Hey, let's split up. And then one of our therapists went to deal with the other kids, and one of us was going to talk to the 14-year-old about the boy she really liked, and she was deeply in love and deeply confused about. And then we thought, then we could manage. That was possible. Yeah, we have to be.
Yeah,
what time is it?
It's already 3:05.
No, we don't. We have a lot of time.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think so.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the keywords for the children therapy, well, we already talked about it. Talking, playing, singing, drawing, playing, music, everything, only not making a mess or whatever. You as a therapist, you both as a therapist, are to have been, need to be directive and structured. And and control the process, and that's the process you already had in your head before. Well, and do a lot of movement, because when the children are becoming a little bit like this and want to walk away or don't want to do anything, if you make some movement exercises, they can come back to themselves and start again doing therapy instead of being ADHD or something like that.
And what's really funny, and that's you might not have a very large room where you do therapy with your clients, but you can do also in a small room. You can do a lot of exercises. You can invite the kids and do it yourself as well, like little yoga exercises, standing on one leg. But also, can you show me your talent? Do you have a thing that you're really good at? And then most of the kids in this age, if they're going to 12, then it's probably a bit stupid to do, or they think it's stupid. But sometimes they can be invited to do a handstand or a head roll, or they're really proud of it, and then they have also fun, especially when you join in and you can not do the handstand, for example. Then it can be really fun to join them and have to have join and to experience the fun of it, because that's then I think the power of the group. It's not only talking. Yeah, we're all very educated, especially you're a psychomotor therapist, but I'm a psychotherapist, and I studied psychology. And it's all in the brains. You get a lot of cognitive techniques, ways to motivate clients, but I think it's really nice also have fun with the kids, and movement and playing seek and hide, for example, and especially younger kids they can't get enough of it if you make a lot of fun about it. So we're going to talk more about the exercises.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't do it here with you, but well. The parents group. I think it's very important that the parents also feel that they have a very important part in their child's life. And also that they also experience the power of the peers, because they most of the time they don't know if they have people in their network who also experience these kind of problems, because most of the people don't talk about it that much. So they don't know. So if they're in our center and they see 3 other parents who are struggling with these kind of situation, they're also relieved to talk about it. And how do you do this? And their worries about is my kid going to be a perpetrator as well, because they experience what they experienced. For example, those kind of questions. In the beginning, they don't dare to ask, but later in the program, there's room for talk about these kind of things. And then people are open. They are invited to be open, and we also ask them these kind of questions. We are very directive, and that's sometimes very scary for the for the children and for the parents. But it also, I think, we explain it. We are directive because we think we are not. We don't do our job that well if we're not asking you about where the pain is. So sometimes I feel like how do you call it? A bull, like a
bully.
A bully. Yeah, sometimes I feel, but I believe in the power of it, or the importance of it. So that's why I can do it. And these are the parents group. What kind of things do you do? Most of the time you sit and talk, but also we also have a very important thing about how do you relax, for example, and what kind of music makes you feel good, or helps you to deal with your mixed feelings or your complicated feelings. And then we're all going to listen to the music someone chooses. So some people are very into the Dutch horrible songs, for example, and others are very in the hard rock, and then it's very nice to talk about it and to listen to it and see also that it touches a person. The interaction sessions in most of the treatments most of therapists who are not trained by these kind of groups, they see the interaction as a moment. Okay, we share what we did in the therapy. You share what you did in the therapy, and but here we want to have also the exercises together. So when the subject of the day was the body and your boundaries. And touching, is it nice touching and not nice touching? Then you have you also have exercises during the interaction sessions about that theme. So then they make the parent makes a pizza on the back of their child, and the other way around, for example. And then they discuss, and is this too how you say it, stevig,
It is.
sorry, too soft. Am I too soft? Can I massage you a bit stevig? I don't know the word.
A little
With
bit
more
more.
passion.
Yeah.
So it's really it's we also want to, as sometimes there's a really stiff contact between a parent and a child, because the parent feels really bad. He or she feels like, I didn't protect my kid, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to fix this. And the child feels really alone, or feels really upset because the parent suddenly doesn't cuddle him or her anymore. So there can be a lot of interaction problems and thoughts about what does the other one think about me, and am I still okay, although you know what happened to me, and those kind of things can normalize if they just know, okay, every time we come together, we do a play, we talk about how they managed secrets when they were young, for example, and then you make the interaction, and you there's an exchange. You hope to get them in normal contact.
Normalize.
Normal contact again.
Yes.
Yeah. Here we wrote all the sessions, and we're going to skip it through because later on we're going to talk about every session. And I hope everyone is okay, because we just see 2 people in the list. But if we don't hear anything, we just continue, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you want some water?
Not yet.
Okay. No, this is the
These are the sessions.
Yeah, these are the sessions. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. These are the kids. How all sessions start with, how are you feeling today? And these are the old drawings. We tried a lot of drawings. The second and the fourth are my daughters. They are really disappointed that these drawings didn't make it to the book, but the other ones were better. So yeah. So, but we always start with a kind of drawings like this, and we ask the kids, how are you feeling today? And we think we do a good job if the children after a while say to us, well, actually I have 2 feelings at the same time. I do feel a bit happy, but I also was very scared today, or very sad or angry. And then you think, okay, well, they are going to take their feelings seriously, and they can express it. So okay, we're on a good way, because life isn't always funny, right?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay. How are you feeling today?
Yes. And about that, how are you feeling today? This is a bit of a one step aside. We think it's really important that you are aware that you're very much a role model. We had a very nice example, Francien and me, when we were in 2007, right?
Yeah.
We were in Colombia together, and we were teaching a class of, I think, 400 or 500 students. Yeah, no, they were not students. They were psychologists.
Yeah.
They're already working as a psychologist.
Yeah.
And they and it was in Cali. And Cali was
University of Cali.
Yeah, and it was first the drugs capital of Colombia, but now it was the boob capital of Colombia. So there were a lot of beautiful women with quite big boobs. And they were also wearing that quite proudly. So with very big cleavages.
Yes.
So you say it like that, right?
Yeah. Cleavages.
Yeah. So now we just noticed that. But then there was a moment, I think it was a whole week or a few days, and the second day, it was too hot. It was so hot inside there. It was 40 degrees. And in our center, Francien she's not working with us anymore, but when she was really quite a tough cookie for the new colleagues, because when you had a skirt that was a bit too high, or you had a cleavage or whatever, you just got a scarf thrown at you, or an old jogging pants, because you had to reveal yourself, because she said you don't want to be a trauma trigger for nobody, not for the parents, not for the kids. You have to be kind of neutral.
Yeah.
So I was thinking in that whole audience, with all the audience, I was thinking, oh, I'm getting too hot, I can't think anymore. So I said, Francien, suddenly in the middle of a sentence, I said, sorry, Francien, sorry, people, it's too hot here. I'm going to take off my blouse. I had a quite a neat thing underneath, but it was too hot. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this, to put this off. But when I had been in the center, I couldn't do that, because Francine would get mad at me. So Francine, sorry, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I cannot think anymore. and then Francine said, oh, I'm too hot as well. So she took it off as well, her blouse. So we were both in like summer.
In something.
In summer, yeah, we were wearing something, but it was a bit cooler then.
Yeah.
And then the day after, Francine said, did you see the audience? And I was like, yes, they are in front of us all the time. I see them. But did you see what they wear? And I looked, there was none of all those psychologists who had a cleavage. All of them wore t-shirts like here, until here.
Yeah.
What do you say it?
Still here.
Yeah, until here. And it was, I didn't see a cleavage at all.
Yeah.
So I think we are very important role models, also for if you teach, but also when you're in your treatment room and in your center. If you walk through the hall and there are people, know that they look at you, and that you're an example, and that you're also, if you have if you do something strange, you're also an example. So this was about dress, how you dress, but also how you talk about the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator. Is that respectful? Is that with a lot of disdain? Is that with a lot of anger? They hear it, and they kids are very suggestible. So be careful, or be aware what you say, how you say it, and also how you treat the children. The way you talk about sex, the way you talk about shameful stuff. If you just ask it, and you say, well, a lot of kids think that everybody can see what happened to you, but I know that's not true. If you just say it, it's probably. I always think that somewhere someone in the treatment room will be very relieved. If it's not an issue, they will not hear it. It will not stick to them. But if it's a problem for them, and you're very normal and very accepting, then they will. I hope they will integrate it. So know your role. And these are they're in the sheet, they're in the PowerPoint. You can I think it's going to be on the website. I have some things, some options written about themes you can talk to in your team, with your colleagues, or in an intervention group, because I think they are. How do you say it? Bepalen. They determine how you are in your in your therapy, who you are, and how you treat people. So these are all nice examples, I think, to talk about or think about. So have fun, because it's also very sometimes very funny to hear the stories of other people about, for example, yeah, not for everyone, of course, how they get to know about sex and what happened, and how was their way to
cope
get
with
their knowledge.
Yeah.
And also to cope. If you have not nice experiences, then it's really a different story. Yeah, then it's maybe not funny at all.
Yeah.
And then you also have maybe a difficult time to explain to others about that. Know what you can or what you cannot, or where you can ask colleagues to help you how to, for yourself normalize themes like that. Okay, then we're going to talk about the sessions. I think we have, what time is it? Yeah, so we have half an hour. So I think.
But we also need time for questions.
Yeah.
We're going to rush through the sessions. In the first session.
Peter?
Huh?
No, we can. I think we don't have to rush.
Okay. Now we learn that children. We tell the children and their parents that what we are going to do and what they will gain by doing all the things we are talking about. And one of the first things, and that's a real statement, the children are coming into the therapy room. We have a nice building, so we have a room in which you can sit on the floor, and you have cushions, etc. And we don't, if possible, we don't have chairs in the room because they are hard and not nice to work with. Children are sitting in the room. You are sitting on your how is it called? Your back, your bottom on the floor, and then you tell the children, okay, you all want to know what we are going to do here, and I think you don't know what we are going to do here, and who are here, and then the teacher, I wanted to say, but the therapist tell the children, all the children in this room have been sexually abused by a father, an uncle, a neighbor, whatever. And all those children don't feel happy about that. And we are going to work about that so that you can feel happy again. The majority of the children say, no, I haven't been sexually abused. But in 5 minutes, the majority of the children listen and know that they are in a group in which everybody can share their experiences. And that's a very, I think, a very good thing.
Yeah. And we also saw them before, so it's not the first time we see them. So they know already one of the therapists. They know their parents are downstairs, and so there's a lot of safety. Or it's not the first time, but it's the first time they meet the other kids and the therapist, the other. Yeah.
Okay, but you can read the rest of it, and I think we can go to the next session.
Yeah. One of the things we it's going gradually. So we explain to them, you don't have to tell us everything at once. And there's also a very important rule that you're allowed to talk, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. We're not going to force you. We're going to respect everyone's boundaries. And at the same time, we're going to invite you to talk about it, because we think that it's good to talk about it, that you're not alone with your information and with your experiences anymore. And you have to repeat that quite a lot of times during all the sessions, because there are kids who aren't so convinced that it's a good idea to talk about their sexual abuse experiences.
Okay, and we have gathered a lot of nice things in the years, and we can use them, for instance, for making a social network. You also can use paper and pencils, but this is nice. We put the rings on the floor. We have tiny little dolls without expressions on their face. They are just blank out wood, and we put it on the floor, and we tell them, you can put yourself in the middle circle, and that's your place. That's safe, and nobody is allowed to step into your place without your consent. And so they can put themselves in the middle circle, and other important people in the circles around. And in the end, they also can put the perpetrator somewhere. And well, you have children who put the perpetrator outside the yellow circle, but you also have children who go with the perpetrator to the door and put him or her outside the room, for instance. But it makes a nice picture about the people the child can the people the child can trust, and you put it yourself on a paper and we always make photos from it. That's easier than writing down, so you know what you can do another time when you talk about families.
Yeah, and it's interesting to do this in the beginning and ask them, for example, we're going to interview with all the kids we go around all the circus, and we ask them questions like, is it okay for you? Or would you like someone to get a little bit closer or a bit further away from you? And then you can ask them in session, I think 13 or 12 or 13, and you can ask them again, how's your network now? And do you think it's okay? Or do you wish someone was closer or further away? So it's really also gives you a lot of information about who the kids can rely on. Yeah, and the other one, the next photograph, is the feeling box. And there are a lot of different stuff in it, like scrub and a feather and like squeezies, squashies. So we're working. We want to work in the whole protocol from feelings on the outside, so they can feel, and we're going to talk about it. What is it for kind of feeling? This material. What does it to you? Do you like it or don't you like it? And then we're going to work from outside, feelings outside, to inside. What do you feel inwards about feelings? So that's one of the things we add to the protocol.
And one back, the feeling box is also used later on when the parents come to the children's room.
Oh, yeah.
And the children do the same with their parents, what the therapist did with them. Let them feel and let them tell what they felt when they were touching those things.
Yeah.
And so they can talk, parents and children already talk in session 2 about feelings and sharing feelings, which is very important.
Yeah, and you also always see that the kids have a lot of control then. Yeah, because they know how to, they already did it, and they are going to teach their parents about the feelings they can feel. So that's always funny. That's always good. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably know the window of tolerance. We have a beautiful little animation, but we can share the link. But this is also our way of talking about the fight, flight, freeze, and dissociation reaction. And we made a drawing ourselves. And I just put now the children's group information here, but it's the same in the parent group. The first few sessions is most of the time focused on psychoeducation about trauma and the group, and how are we going to do this, and getting used to talk in groups. Session 4 is also quite how do you say it? We start preparation. It's more like a preparation phase until we go to the trauma narrative. And I forgot to translate that, the GGG model. That's Dutch. The feelings, behavior thing, that triangle of how it comes from the cognitive behavioral therapy, that with your thoughts you can have influence on your feelings, and that will have an influence on your behavior. So that's we're going to explain and work with it, also with the kids and also with the parents. And with the parents, we talk about guilt, for example, and we talk with the kids about how to be angry in a safe way, because you have kids who are really they don't know how to react. They most of the time they're quite calm, and then they have outbursts of anger, and we think that comes from what they experienced. And it's okay to express anger, but it's best if you do that in a quite a safe way, that you don't hurt someone else, don't hurt yourself, and don't break things you don't want to break, or that gets you into trouble. So it's a theme. It's a very important theme, and we take it very seriously in the children group and in the parent group. The next slide, before I continue, there are a few drawings there from children you once upon a time treated, and we'd like to ask you not to take a photograph here on this one, because
Privacy.
because of privacy.
And also, if possible, to take this sheet out of the presentation, because you never know how one of the girls who did this can see that we used it.
The record is going to
Okay.
continue. Thank you, Christina. Because there are two sessions of trauma narrative, session 5 and session 6. That's different from all the other sessions, because then you take a lot of time individually, or with the children group, and individually with the parent group, and just the 5 minutes in the end are together, because the 7th session is sharing the trauma narrative. So here we take 2 sessions full time for drawing and talking about and feeling about what happened to them, and we tell them that's also a motivational speech, that you have to your memory is like a closet with a lot of little planks in it, and there you have a lot of memories, and we're going to help you clean up the memories, so you can what's opruimen?
You can
Not clean, but when you're
organize.
When your room is a mess, then you can organize the whole lot, and make it organized, more organized, so you have less chaos in your head, and in your memory. So these are the closets which are drawn.
I love this, and I well, it's a long time ago, but it could have been nice when I had it when my children were young, and they were not sexually abused, but they had a mess in their closet,
head, or in the closet.
In their closet.
Oh yeah.
For the closet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and while the children are busy writing, you talk with the parents about connecting with your kids, and that for connection you need to understand what's happening in their lives, what's happening in their head, and for example, and talk, and with the cognitive behavioral model in mind. For example, if your child comes home and throws his bag in the corner and is very angry, you could say, "We're not going to start the afternoon like this. Clean up," or you can do that, or you can ask, "So you're angry today? What happened? What happened at school?" For example, then you have a complete whole completely different afternoon, I think. So it's really nice to talk with parents. How do you react? And could you maybe see or react differently because now you know that the child had a rough day at school, for example. So you're going to invite them to observe their kids better. And also formulate helping thoughts for themselves. Maybe I didn't see that my child was sexually abused, but that doesn't make me a bad parent. I'm still okay. I tried. I'm doing my best. It's more helpful to think than I just suck. So that's also where we're going to help parents with. And then we do the sharing. The sharing, it can be beautiful when kids share their trauma narrative with the parents, but it can also be very painful if parents cannot hear it or are too vulnerable or don't react the way you tried them to make them react. So as a therapist, you're very concentrated on all the little groups because they're in the room separated with the parents and kids together in a small group. And beforehand, you think, okay, which parent need a therapist, and which don't, and can we help them make it a good experience? So it can be beautiful, but sometimes it's not. And then you have to, what you said before, you have to talk with the therapist together before and afterwards. How was that for you? How was it for everybody? Is everybody okay with this? Do you think your rule was okay? Do you think you forgot something to do, etc.? Now, this is also a very important session. Grooming. I think you all know the term. It's like that children or victims are kind of seduced to join the sexual abuse. I don't know if I say it that well. They're kind of they feel responsibility because they think, oh, he or she makes me think that I wanted it too. So they feel a kind of responsibility for the abuse that makes it easier for the perpetrator to abuse the kids, and also more likely that they won't tell anyone. So that's a really nasty concept, but it happens a lot because a lot of our clients are sexually abused by someone they know or are a person who is trusted by the family. So it's really a complicated interaction, and we talk about that with the parents, with the kids. And also about the dangers and also the nice things, but also the dangers of internet. Growing up in the digital world, and that's also very funny with the parents because most of the time they are not really aware of their own behavior. For example, watching porn, we always normalize to talk about it. There are a lot of people who do that, and they don't make it aware. How you say it? They forget to make them aware that their kids can see their history the search history or so. Yeah. But still, if you don't watch porn, there are a lot of people who are just all day watching their screen. Okay, the body. That's your department.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we do a lot of exercise already in the beginning, the first sessions, a lot of exercises in which they are using their body. But now we are talking about the body, really talking and say, okay, it's your body. What do you like? And then we are putting one child in the middle of the room, and one of the others or the therapist can walk to the child, and the child is allowed to say, stop, when it feels uncomfortable. We do that ourselves also. when they are coming nearer, we do exercises with how does it feel when you are stroking your hand? Is that nice? Is it soft? Is it whatever? Is this the same as when you are striking on the front of your leg? Is what is hard and what is soft? But we are doing exercises. How is your hair feeling? And then can you ask the guy or boy who's sitting next to you whether you can feel their hair? Can I feel your hair? Okay. Oh, your hair is so soft. Mine is not so soft. Then you talk about that.
And you had I think a beautiful exercise with magic lotion.
Yes.
And that's it's also a bit of a work for the therapist. But we also always feel little little bottles,
little bottles, tiny little bottles.
with body lotion, and then we make a little etiquette, a little paper. No, I don't have a picture. And a little paper with magic lotion, and then we make a beautiful story about it, that it's magical lotion, magic lotion, and that if you put it on your body is really yours, and it really feels good, and it can be anywhere in your body.
Yeah,
not on your vagina. That's not good for your body, but it's still a good thing to do.
You know, we make the bottles. We have fun with making the bottles ourselves also. Then we put it in a basket, and you bring the basket into the room and put it down, and are sitting around and saying, well, okay, do you know what we have? And no, and then I say, well, this is magic lotion that helps to have a nice and good and whatever body, etc. So, well, and then you tell today when you come home and you are ready with dinner and you are going to bed and you are showered, you are going to sit next to your bed and you take the magic lotion, and this evening you can do your left leg with the lotion, and tomorrow your right leg, etc. So, and you make something like that. You make a whole week body lotion. Well, children learn to look to their own body when they are doing that. But I'll tell one of the nice things. We had a mother and she was sexually abused herself, and her 4 children were also sexually abused by her abuser. We called her Mother Anna, and Mother Anna, she came to therapy and with the children and said, you must make my children better because they cannot live as I have lived. Okay, her children had the body lotion, and then the next week, this Mother Anna came to me and said, Francien, do you have magic lotion for me? And she took it with her. 45, 60 years, no, not 60, 45 years, something like that. And still believing in the body lotion, or believing in it's possible to do something. You know, it works. I can promise you.
Yeah, make it a bit dramatic. That's also nice. You're with kids, so, or with mothers, but if you are with kids and you make it a reveal moment, then it's also nice.
Well, that's another thing. A therapist also must be an artist,
an actor,
an actor,
yeah.
We can act very good. Okay, again, the body.
Yeah, we're going to.
We have a song about my body is my body and nobody's else, or something like that. That's the English version. You can find it somewhere on the internet.
No, it's in the book. Yeah, it's in the book, but it's in Dutch. So
yeah, well, but I'll tell something about that later.
Okay.
And that you can sing that, and then, you know, then you are dancing and thinking, my body's nobody, etc.
It depends on the age.
It depends on the age. Don't do it with a 16-year-old girl, but nevertheless, a lot of younger children like it very much.
Yeah. And with the parents, you talk about the phases from baby until teenager, the feeling, the start of feeling ashamed, the autonomy phase, and also about sex education, and not what they have to tell their kids, but how did they get their sex education and how do they feel about talking about it. So we give a lot of advice like books or something, but we're not going to talk about especially that, but we emphasize the importance of talking about sex and the body especially with kids who experienced sexual abuse, because they are most of the time quite confused about their body. Okay, let's continue. Secrets is very important. I'm going to go a little bit faster. And the parents will also talk about secrets and how they did that before, because most of the time they think, why didn't my kid tell me what happened? But when they think about their childhood, most of the time they think, well, I should have told something to my parents. Why didn't I do that? So it helps understand the behavior of their own child. This is also a bit out of drama therapy. We have those little togas. Is it
Well,
robes,
the robes the judges are wearing all over the world.
And we play a chord with the kids, and the kids are allowed to give the perpetrators punishments. So one of the therapists is the perpetrator. He puts on a hat and is really sorry and thinks, oh, I only thought about myself. I never thought about what's good for you. I thought only what I liked to feel, and I didn't think of you. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what you play as a perpetrator, and you never get angry, or you just are very you make yourself small and very humble, I think.
Very good.
And the people and the kids are allowed to give you punishments. And with the parents, we talk about what are punishments, what are real punishments in our system of law, and also we talk about what do you want something to do. Yeah, I'm going to talk. Do you want something with the perpetrator? Yeah. Do you want to write him or her a letter? Do you think it can help to make an apology meeting, to organize an apology meeting between them? Is that possible? Do you know who did it, etc.? Now this is we're going to be quick. Otherwise, there's not enough time for questions and exchange of ideas. So these are we going to talk about nightmares and sleep hygienics is in the child and in the parent group topic, and relaxation, making a t-shirt with a nice dream, a new network check, and then saying goodbye. Very important to make it a bit of a party. Hey, you did a good job, you did your best, very well, and then you have a conversation with the kids and the parents and one of the therapists out of the parent group and one out of the child group, and you evaluate together. Is there something else needed? Is it enough for now? Do we see each other in 2 months? And think about what you can do then. So that's our program, and there are a lot of themes we haven't talked about. A lot of
we need 2.5 days.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Especially we can talk about it for ages. It took also ages to write it, so these are all topics where we have made plans about. So maybe we have some time to talk more about that. And to finish it off, we wanted to say it's very necessary, all those thoughts about what's good for the client, what's good for the parents, but also take seriously how you are feeling. Yeah, and that's why we organize those meetings just before 50 minutes or half an hour, and half an hour afterwards the therapy. Take your time, drink tea together. How's everybody? Are you
And a
okay?
sweet.
Going home? Yeah,
Always a sweet.
yeah. That was ages ago.
Oh, you
Yeah.
don't do that anymore.
Some people do. A lot of people do, but a lot of people are also very vegan and sort of so.
Okay.
Yeah, so not everybody is into sweet anymore, Francine.
Okay.
When you okay, no, but it's good. I think chocolate is always good.
Yes.
So I agree. Okay, I
And,
think we're here.
Before we go on, I want to give a suggestion. The first books we wrote are translated into the Georgian language with money of UNICEF, and probably if you should like to have the books translated in Serbian or in Croatian or whatever, try to get some money from UNICEF, because they are not rich but they do have money. Okay, questions.
I'm going to stop share screen. I hope you're all alive. I'm quite warm. How are you?
I'm not cold.
No, not cold. Okay. Yeah. Could you follow everything?
We don't hear.
No, but they have to switch something.
Okay.
So I don't know if there are any questions or exchange or critical things.
I would like to thank you for your dedicated and warm, in symbolic way, warm sharing with us. I'm not working with children. I'm working with adolescents as well, and but mostly I'm working with their inner children. So very much of
That's nice. Yeah.
what you do, I often apply with adult people, especially when we talk about trauma. I'm a psychodrama therapist, and we have also magic shop, as you have magic lotion. Thank you for this magic lotion. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
And thanks for sharing. It's a very important and very nice idea to actually have this set of principles and techniques, and also this theory frame behind this. So I think it's very useful for most of us. My question is, these 15 sessions, how frequent they are? Do you have also something that is already, let's say, outlined, or you follow the group itself? And then is it once a week, or what is the time?
It's once a week. Yeah, it's once a week, and especially with kids, we think that's really important, because if you have too much time between the sessions, it's getting to the background already, and you have to start over every time again. To get their trust, to talk about what happened. So I think a frequent structured every Wednesday afternoon, then we have group for 15 times, and not on vacations, but it's very important. Yeah. And
okay,
was that an answer to your question?
Yeah, I have just one small, sorry to take the time, but since
okay.
I'm a group therapist, so I just want to ask you, do you have dropouts? What happened with when either in parents or in children's group? Do you deal with these people who cannot take the group anymore? I suppose they are.
Yeah, we have in the book, we have a lot of indications and contraindications. So, for example, if you think a parent is that much traumatized, him or herself, that he can't follow the information, or will be too much triggered by talking about the sexual abuse of his or her child, then you can choose, for example, not to let the parent follow the group, but do an individual
Mhm.
part during the time of the group. So the child can be in a group and the parent is in an individual parent guidance, parental guidance contact,
Yeah.
for example.
Oh.
But we sometimes have dropouts, and I remember one, for example, then the first session, the parent therapists were quite stressed, and they felt very awkward because the mother didn't believe the child. That was very clear in the session. It became clear that she was in favor of her husband and not of her child, and she was there with her child, and the father was the child had said, my father abused me, and the mother didn't believe her. So that mother was suddenly a sort island in the middle of a group with all the parents who were very like how do you say it, strijdvaardig.
They were
Yeah.
angry
Yeah.
about this mother because
So
she didn't believe her child, but only the husband.
Yeah, so there was really painful situation, and the therapists were also upset, and they were like, "Oh my God, this wasn't a good match for in the group. We have to get these people out of the group and do first some. Yeah, we don't know either. Did it happen or not? But it wasn't a good group assignment.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you so
And I
much.
wanted to, can I say one thing? Because you said you did some drama, or you like to work with the inner child of kids. If you have Harry Potter fans, I had a very nice therapy with a girl who was really a fan, and I really like it too. So we did a lot of protection spells all the time in therapy, and it's very nice.
Yeah, in psychodrama, we use all of these aspects and objects.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, but we have 2 questions in the chat.
Okay, I'll have a look. Sorry, I haven't seen it. The first 2 are in a very beautiful language, but I don't understand the words. The 2 questions in English, I can so maybe I'll do first 2 questions in English, and then maybe afterwards someone can translate the first 2 for us. Is it important for children to explain the abuse into details? Yeah, that's an interesting question. I just had an EMDR session this week. A blind therapist. I hate that because I get inconvenient about it, but the child couldn't get it out of her throat to tell me what exactly happened, and she already wrote down before something. So we just said, okay, is it that situation? Yeah, okay, think about that situation. And then we did the EMDR eye movement process. So I didn't know extra details, but I did the EMDR. So sometimes I think, is it my curiosity? I think it's really good to talk about what happened to you. But if someone is not able to talk about it, sometimes I think you just have to respect it and hope they find a way to let it out in a different way. What do you think, Francien?
Yeah, well, and the other, you ask the child to tell or write or draw about what happened as detailed as possible, and then you get it, or they tell something and you have the feeling that there is still something more that you also thought it would be better if the child told it, then you just can say, okay, thank you very much for what you did a wonderful job, and perhaps if there is something more, you can always come to us and we can always help you to tell more if necessary. And then you let it to the child, and 2 sessions later you can ask just while walking, is there something else you wanted to tell or something that just easygoing, but let the opportunity then. And one of the things I always told the children when the 15 sessions were over, it is possible that when you are a little bit older, that things are coming back in your head and your body, and you always can call us.
Yeah.
And then we help you. And you know, they are very good, those children, because one of those girls said to me, that doesn't help because you are old and you're going to die. Who is going to help me?
Okay.
And then I could say, well, we have all those that, you know, it's important. You can do that. You can do a lot. You can
Yeah, and
give
it's
them hope.
Yeah, and it happens a lot. I have a girl who came back just recently, and she's now 16, and I met her when she was 6, and every time she has a new face, she comes back. And I in the beginning I thought, oh, I didn't do my job well, but it's a new face, and the abuse was this bad that every time there's a new thing, family thing with her half brother, or then she has a reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had the same with one of the girls who was making this beautiful drawings before you don't have anymore. She was with us when she was 11, and 6 years later, she called me and she said, Francine, can I come? Okay, what's wrong? Is something wrong? No, not me, for my mother. And there she came, a beautiful young girl, and she was sitting there. She said, you know, Francine, I want you to help my mother because she had the same and she's so unhappy. See what happens, it stays. If you are real, if you are easygoing in just talking about sex, you know, the whole society is drenched in sex, but nobody can talk about it in a normal way. And it's our job. That's our job. Just talk about all those things in a normal way. And then it comes back.
Hey, is that
and the second one?
the second one? There's another question. Is there any thought given to the metaphors, objects in the exercises during sessions, in the sense that they could be triggering during work with their body, maybe some sort of safety measures? Yeah. My first association is that I think the whole therapy structure is the safety measure. Yeah? We are very clear in where we talk about difficult things. We call them by their names. When you feel like not talking, you're okay. You're fine. You're still okay. Your parents are downstairs. If you are triggered, we explain them about triggers. They are looking for their own triggers. They know about their own triggers. If there are little pillows and blankets, if they want to hide, it's okay. And we tell them what we are going to do. So that's really important. Start on time, finish on time. If you are walking behind someone, I'm going to walk behind you. We're going to do an exercise now. Maybe it feels a little bit strange to touch your neighbor at the back, or hey, you feel very sad. I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder. Hey, you're very clear in what you do. You act exactly the way you predict. So I think I think the whole structure is made for because there are a lot of triggers all the time
to enlarge the safety, and we have thought about everything. I think
no, not everything, but a lot. And I have to think about the last group with the 7-year-old and the 13-year-old or 14-year-old. I can't remember. The 7-year-old really hated me because because I was the one. I did with my colleague Manon, who also wrote the book, and she's very like having very great ideas with exercises. She's a psychomotor therapist, and I'm more a psychologist. So I'm more with words. So I used the word sexual abuse now and then. And when every time I did, she looked at me as if if I had to die. She was so angry that I said that word all the time, that when she did, she hid behind some very great play blocks, and she was really angry. And when she had to pick someone, you want to do an exercise, and then she said, I don't want with you, I want with her. She always, so she was really angry with me.
Yeah.
But she was the one who was mostly, she came out best of all the different children, because I think it was exposure all the time. And she was really, Vermeijden, she was really neglecting, no, not neglecting.
No, not neglecting. She's
Escaping. She was really escaping, talking about it all the time, about escaping her feelings, escaping the situation, and she couldn't because there was this group, and there was me who was talking about sexual abuse, and she went in it, and I think it was good, but I also said, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again because I think I can help you with it. So I was really transparent about my method, but I still did it. That's the bully part. Yeah, okay. Yeah, very nice comments on the chat. I missed the information introduction. Could you explain the referral process?
Nee, nu niet meer,
Okay.
denk ik.
Yeah, you can watch it back. It comes at the side of the cooperation. Is there another question? The first two questions, maybe they are in another language.
No, that was just my instructions on how
Oh, okay.
interpretation.
Okay.
No questions.
I see. I think it looks like Redmi has a question.
Wie?
Oh no, I don't know. Maybe it's we're done. That's also fine.
Ja, zij zit te praten, maar daar hebben we niks aan.
No, I think it's we're finished then, or is there
Are there other questions or not?
leuk? So I think there are people leaving, so probably we're going to stop. Thank you for your attention.
Ja imam
And-
jedno pitanje.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's another. Yeah.
Ja imam jedno pitanje.
Okay.
Evo imam jedno pitanje i za Francien i za Merijn. Tokom godina rada, jel imate nešto što bi posebno izdvojile, da bi rekle da je to bio neki najveći izazov za vas? Ako uopšte može tako da se razmišlja u svom radu.
Yeah, well, not as far as the therapy is concerned, but I have been an interrogator in sexual abuse cases for the police and the judges, and that has been more or less terrible because there was a whole bunch of male psychologists who were denying that sexual abuse was real, and that I was the children infecting with the ideas that they were. So, you know, they even wrote about me as beyond salvation in a big Dutch journal. And that has been bad. And in the beginning, what has been bad is that my colleagues who were very often asking questions, how can I do that? How can I do it? And can you tell me? And can you help me? Etc. Who talked to me somewhere where nobody could see that, but when we were on a conference or something like that, that they didn't want to be seen with me because and that's because I started so early and nobody talked about it. I talked about an object or a subject that was not done yet. And one of the bad things I still feel, although I'm not really therapeutic working anymore, but there is a difference. There's a big hole between people who are trained to work with adults and people who are training themselves to work with children, with sexually abused children. And the whole movement still in the Netherlands, now 2023, is they're talking again about women who are abused in one way or the other, but the word child hardly ever comes up. And that's, I think, horrible. And it's still, well, it's hurting me, but especially it's hurting the children. And that's the whole problem.
Yeah, and that I think that's a problem. I think that in the adult care, I don't know how it's in your countries, but in the Netherlands, they forget very often that there's a family behind that patient that's in or that client that's in your care. So the intergenerational abuse, and that a mother is abused by her father, but that her father is also the babysitter of her kids. Those kind of things are, I think, sometimes they are missed by adult psychologists. So that's, I think, a lot of you work with adults, and maybe it's all in your vision. But here in the Netherlands, I sometimes think people forget.
Yeah.
And what I think is a big challenge in my working life, almost 20 years now, is to keep trust in the world, because there's so many horrible stories, and and just a few people can make a lot of people's life so can hurt so many people. Yeah, it's like oil in the sea sometimes, I think. And then you have to find a balance, and it's not finding, but keep the balance. You have to
work hard.
Work hard to keep the balance. I think with I have 2 daughters. Sometimes I think, what on earth was I thinking to put them in this world? And this kind of job isn't always healthy, I think, for your own state of being. So that's why I put the supervision, the intervision questions inside the presentation, because I really think it's important to give attention to your own stuff. Everybody has bad experiences, not always on the sexual abuse department, but with trust or with violence or with fears. And I think it's easy to neglect them, but you get them in another form. You get them back, or in your body.
Yeah.
For example, hey, we're suddenly black. We're like how do you say it? Dealing in the, like we want to ransom.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what that is. Yeah. Okay.
Dobro, hvala
Can you
vam.
maybe ask a question?
Thank you very much.
There's one question from Maya.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this lecture and your wonderful work and contribution to this subject. I wanted to ask you, I don't know if I missed this information. What kind of feedback did you get from parents? What are some of the benefits for the children? What was maybe most valuable through your work to the children?
Yeah. Ooh, I think we get a lot of feedback. Mostly it's the also the interaction with other peers who have the same, like parents, like kids. But I sometimes think what the power is, the flexibility. Like last time we had also 3 kids from the same perpetrator. It was a neighbor grandfather. Everybody knew him in the neighborhood, and he had abused a lot of kids, and 3 of them, no, like 6 of them were in our center, and 3 of them joined the group. And then there was this court moment, and the parents all decided we're not going to tell our kids, and we were like, huh? Why not? So we heard that in the parent group, and I was with the kids, and we were like in the after meeting, we talked about that, and I thought, okay, talk with the parents about this, and advise them to tell their kids, because they have speak right. Do you say it? Yeah, they can talk on behalf of their kids in court. And you can have a conversation. We can arrange conversations with all the parents and kids. What do the kids want to tell to have the parents say in court? So, and those are all those 3 mothers and fathers. They talked to their kids. We were there as well. Were beautiful conversations. What the kids wanted their parents to say in court, and 3 mothers, they did it, and they had such a powerful experience. And also the kids were very proud of their mothers. Hey, my mother stood up for me. So because of the group, we got informed about the court, and in one way we could help 3 mothers to make a story in favor of their kids. And we were they thanked us for that, but I was also really like enthusiastic and moved by this. Thank you. And that was really cooperation between the parent and the child group. So one moment, a parent therapist came knocking on our door of the child group, and they say, "You can talk about this." So we talked about that there was a court coming on, and that we were going to organize conversations with the individual conversations with parents and kids about their speak right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's it.
Everybody ready?
Jel to? Nemamo više pitanja, tako?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
then have a nice evening and a good
Thank you so much.
life.
It was really
Također i mi vama želimo.
we can come to Belgrade to give a longer lecture.
Okay.
Isn't
But
it?
you know, yeah.
Može, Francien, to ćemo se sve dogovarati, da. Evo, ova nam je godina sad već pri kraju.
Thank you very much for listening to us.
Hvala Francien, hvala Merijn. Želim svima srećnu novu godinu, nećemo se vidjeti više i lepo se provedite danas, ostatak dana lepo, a u novoj godini sve najbolje i vidimo se ponovo. I u Beogradu možda.
Wish you all the best.
Bye.
Hvala, doviđenja, pozdrav.
Hvala svima, hvala ženskoj sobi, hvala SOS-u Ljubljana i hvala našim prevoditeljicama koje da nisu ovoliko strpljive, ko zna šta bi bilo i svim
Yes.
učesnicama
Yeah.
koje su bile da to. Radmila i Ana danas.
Exactly. Thank you.
Hvala lepo, prijetno.
I
Zullen wij nog even blijven? Of niet?
Ik moet plassen.
Oh, ga je plassen?
Heel nodig.